So I've met a lot of characters in the last 7 years doing what I'm doing. A lot of fascinating, interesting people from all walks of life. Famous, notorious, celebrities, footballers, actors, boxers, just lots of fascinating, intriguing people. And there's a saying which someone like never meet your heroes because you'll always be disappointed. And to an extent, that is true. But one guy I would have loved to have met, and I don't often get starstruck, but I would have been if I'd have met this guy, was Mickey Duff. Hall of Famer, boxing promoter. Come over in the early 19th century, 20th century, I think it was. And basically, his dad was a rabbi, he was Jewish, settled in Aldgate, which is the East End, so he was as cockney as he come. Was a boxer, turned pro when he was 15, had a stack loads of fights, and I think it was when he was about 19 he decided he was going to matchmaking. So, what a character. When Ronnie and Reggie Cray was sentenced to life imprisonment in 1969, they sent him a dead rat, and they sent him a note saying we should have killed you when we had the chance. He was only one of a very few people, along with maybe Tommy Miller in the boxing scene, who would stand up to Paul Sykes. Now, Mickey Duff was quite a short guy. I'm only 5'8", and I think Mickey Duff was probably about 5'5". He was a little bantamweight, and so anyway, he was an extremely shrewd man. John L. Gardner said to me, I was with him once in America when they were paid X amount of money for John L. Gardner to step aside so Muhammad Ali could fight, was it Trevor Berbick or Larry Holmes? And Mickey Duff had £16,000 in the bag, and he slept rough. I slept on a hotel room floor because he wouldn't buy a hotel room. So one-off character. So Nick was telling me the story about how Nick was sent off to Germany to spar with these two world-class fighters. And basically, I'm not going to go into it because I'm going to save it for the book. But to cut a long story short, it ended up, this was when East Germany was, I'd still had all the dust from the Berlin Wall. And it was an incredibly racist place to be seen, particularly if you're a 6'2" black man like Nick Manners was. So Nick was walking down the street or something anyway. All of a sudden he heard, Sika, or something like that. Which was obviously racist, and it ended up with, all of a sudden, bullets started going through his head. So Nick managed to escape and live for another day. So when he was back in his hotel room, he rang Mickey Duff and he's like, "What the hell have you got me into here? I've just had loads of Combat 18, skinheads, Dr. Martens, Harrington jackets, bomber jackets, braces, all trying to shoot me, trying to kill me." And Mickey Duff was just like, character building, Nick lad, character building. Unbelievable character. John Spencer's told me lots of different stories about him. I think Nick Manners' book's going to be about 22, 23 chapters, but the one I'm looking forward to typing out the most was Mickey Duff's. Wow. Steve Bunce said, what was it, the quote he said? Mickey Duff wasn't racist, wasn't sexist, he just basically hated everyone the same. I think he said a quote or something like, he hated everyone, but it was strictly business. And I mean, Mickey Duff, he gave that iconic phrase, which has been immortalised now, which said something like, if you want loyalty, buy a dog. And he gave an interview once talking on his fighter, Lloyd Honeyghan, and he said, there's nothing in my contract, man in his contract, that says we have to like each other. I spoke to John L. Gardner at length, and he said, basically when John L. Gardner was fading coming through the end, it was just like a piece of meat to him because he had the young Frank Bruno. But what a character, what a real life character. Nick describes him as being a real life Arthur Daly, but the character in Snatch, Alan Ford plays Bricktop, the gangster. That a lot of people, I spoke to a couple of people and said that was Mickey Duff. He, yeah, I would have loved to have just sat with him, and he died unfortunately about 8 years ago, about a year before I started doing this. But if he'd have been around now, he would have been someone I'd have definitely made a go for, and I would have loved to have sat in his company even just for half an hour. But yeah, there's some fascinating stories that Nick's told me about him and his relationship with the one and only, totally unique. Never ever will boxing see such a fascinating, venerable character as Mickey Duff. So yeah, I am looking forward to doing that chapter. So front, gotta get through this. The official, exclusive Nick Manners biography. It will be coming this winter, written by myself and published by Warcry Publishing. Yeah, there's some absolutely cracking stories in it about his time when he faced Joe Calzaghe. Very, very famous altercation with none other than Mr. Paul Sykes. The Josh Warrington journey, the prison years, the being reformed character. Yeah, it's a book that it kind of excites me. Do you know what I mean? And I don't need. There's a saying, I think it was Marvin Hagler. Boxers, it's very hard to get up, go running at 4 a.m. when you're wearing silk pajamas, and meaning you need that kind of motivation. And I've done some books and I've been like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have took that on. And why this is like, it's just a joy. It was a joy to listen to Nick Manners the other day. Probably maybe the only person I've ever met who talks as much as me. Very standout character is Nicholas. A one-off. And I mean that in a nice way. But if he has something to say, he will say it. And, not everyone in his life has always got him. And I think that's why. So I think if anyone was ever born to make a book, it was Nick. He can talk good. He looks good as well. He's kind of one of them typical black, smooth guys. You just think, you've got a massive cock and you can dance. Do you know what I mean? That's what you just think. But no, do you know what? I like Nick. I've known him, I think, 7 years this year. And I'm thrilled to be doing his book. But there's a lot of very, very funny stories. Nick was a winning fighter. He was no mug. He used boxing as a vehicle. And I think he retired a little bit early. I think he was about 31, 32. He'd won his last 2 fights. And he was promised a British light heavyweight eliminator for the British title with Coventry's Neil Simpson. And he just thought, nah, not for me. Walked away. Doesn't regret it. But he's had a life and a career outside the ropes, mentoring young kids, Josh Warrington, helping young people to lead. So this book's going to be a really, really positive book. But Mickey Duff, yeah, as I said, there's a handful of people. I would have loved to have met Brian Clough. I did when I was 14, but I didn't appreciate him. I didn't, I was just, he was an old bloke to me who had been sacked by Nottingham Forest the year before. Who else? I would love to meet Graham Souness, proper man. But you know what? I can't think of anyone from a British boxing era. He was just fascinating. Do you know what? I could probably see me writing a book on Mickey Duff in years to come. He does greatly fascinates me to the point of borderline obsession. Yeah, total one-off character. And you know what? Even the top promoters like Frank Warren, they never got on. and others. But this, you know, I remember speaking to Alex Morrison once and John Spencer and said he was a character. Boxing is a far worse place with the likes of your Mickey Duffs and your Tommy Millers no longer about. These were the guys who could cut corners and save shows. You know, these days you'd be breaking the law, but they didn't give a shit. You know, they were proper old school, proper Cockney as they come, and that really tickled me when Nick was telling me that story about he rang Mickey Duff saying, you know, he went for a week or two in Germany, all exclusive, paid to spar the German champions, and all of a sudden he's got attempts on his life, and he's rang him up saying, Mickey, where have you got me? And he's just like, it's like character building, Nicholas Ladd, character building in his proper East End Cockney accent. Yeah, what character. And British boxing today, it misses the likes of Mickey Duff. But as I said, got to get through this. Nick Manners by myself will be coming this winter. Thanks for your time, guys. Don't forget to click and subscribe, and have a great day.